Alright everyone, on to today's video, I'm going to teach you this very useful move that's used by all the magicians in the world. And today I'm going to teach you every single step and different variation of the double lift. I'm going to show you loads of different ways of getting a break, lifting the cards, turning them over, and everything about double lift. So make sure to watch the whole video to learn the most out of it. So the double lift is when you flip over two cards as one so that your spectator doesn't know it. It's very useful. You can use it to switch cards, control cards. You can use it to do many different tricks. So there are two different types of double lift. The first one is a double lift with a break, and the second one is a double lift without breaks. So let's talk about breaks. To get into most of the double lift, you're going to need a break, which looks like this. You're going to insert a tiny bit of your pinky, insert it below the top two cards. So it's way more easier for you to turn over two cards as one. So there are many different ways to get into a pinky break. So the first way to get a pinky break is to push off the cards and then pull it back and get a break like so. So to do that, first of all, you're going to release all the energy you put on the deck. So you're just gonna remove all your fingers, let the deck slide on its own towards the right. And now you're going to use your thumb to push off the top two cards if you can. So this might take a bit of practice to push off exactly two cards. So you're going to push off two cards like this. And then you're going to insert your pinky below the second card from the top. And after you've done that, you can use your middle and ring finger to push those two cards and square up the whole deck. And just like that, you've got a break. Using this method to get a break may not be the best, but what you can do is, while you're getting a break, so you can kind of tilt your hands towards the table or towards the floor. When you're performing the trick, you can just casually just point the deck downwards. So you're going to just push off a few cards and you're just going to feel two cards. And after that, you're going to insert your pinky below the second card and just square everything up and then lift your hand up again, and then you can do your double lift. So the second way to get a break is through riffling the cards just like this, and now I got a break. To do this, you're going to casually dribble the cards, riffle the back, riffle the front, and once you're ready, you're going to slowly riffle the back of the cards until you get to near the top. You riffle very slowly and feel two cards with your thumb, and once you got that, quickly insert your pinky right there and then riffle off the last two cards. So again, this may take some practice to do it very smoothly. So at the start, you might just riffle the cards slowly and you might accidentally put like 3 or 4 cards above your pinky break, but that's totally fine because it takes practice to do it very quickly and then get a break like so. However, if you're riffling the cards, that might not look good from your spectator point of view because there's no reason for you to riffle the cards like this and riffle it like slowly and doing this kind of stuff. But what you can do is, before riffling, you can just kind of dribble the cards and riffle the cards. And once you're ready, just do the riffle. Once you're done, riffle the front as well as a cover to your break. So the third way to get into a break is through doing a pinky count. So the pinky count is used by many professional magicians, I think, because it's very invisible from the front. The movement is very small as well. Just like this, I'm just using my pinky and riffling off two cards from the top. If you're first learning this move, you have to move the deck towards the left and a bit towards the front as well. So the deck should look something like this, sliding towards the left and the front. So you should hold the deck in dealer's grip and your thumb should be on top of the back of the cards, just pushing the cards downwards just to make a bend so that your pinky can actually pull the cards downwards and riffle the cards like this. So at first it might feel weird because I've been there before, and it's quite hard to pull a card down when you first start. So what I suggest you to do is to curl your index finger to the bottom of the deck, and then use this part of your finger to really put power on it to bend the cards. So you can see the bend of the cards with the thumb pulling down and your index finger pushing the deck upwards. And also with the middle and ring finger, you're going to pull the deck down, so you really get a bend, and it is going to be easier for you to riffle off top few cards with your pinky, and slowly you get there. So what you have to do is just do pinky count and riffle off 1 card, 2 cards, and there we go, you got a break below 2 cards. So the last way to get a break is what's so-called the snap double. So what you're going to do is to riffle off top left corner with your thumb, just like this, and riffle off 2 cards. And then your index finger is going to go here, the top edge of the cards, and push those 2 cards upwards and get like an index finger break, something like this. So a pinky break looks like this, and your index finger is going to get a break as well from the front edge of the cards. Now your thumb is going to push down the corner of those 2 cards, and also make sure that your middle finger is also pushing down on the other side. So you kind of get like a bend like this. Well, it's called the snap double because you're going to snap the cards like this. And in order to do that, you're going to release your middle finger just like this, and the card should like pop out from the right side. And if you do it quickly, it will make a snap sound like this. And this is quite a useful way to get into a break. So once you have done that, you're going to snap the cards, and you get a very big gap for you to lift up the 2 cards as one. However, you have to remember, when you're getting this break, you have to tilt the deck towards the floor. So the timing should be you're getting ready for a break, and once you have done the snap, just twist your wrist, turn it upwards, and then you can lift those 2 cards. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are 2 different types of double lift, right? One with the break and the second one without the break. So to do the one without the break, it's way more challenging. You have to feel the cards right and push off exactly 2 cards from the deck, and here is a double. It can be more risky to do it right in front of your spectator, because you might have pushed off 3 cards and you might only have pushed off 1 card, and that's not a mistake you want to make in a performance, right? In this video, I'm just going to briefly talk about how to do it. You're going to do this push off double lift without a break. So just like pushing off a single card, you are using these 3 fingers, middle, ring, and pinky, to hold off the rest of the deck so that you can push off the top card, right? But this time, you're going to move those 3 fingers a little bit downwards. You can use your thumb to push off cards, just like you're pushing off a single card. But this time, you're going to feel 2 cards and then pushing them off as one, just like this. So right here, I got a double. Instead of just holding the rest of the deck, but just 1 card, you're going to let go 2 cards and hold the rest of the deck so that you can push off 2 cards easily, just like that. Another way to do the double lift without a break is to slide the cards towards the right. From the bottom, you can actually see that it's easier to riffle, right? What you can do with this is to feel exactly 2 cards. Again, just you have to practice. So you're just going to riffle off the side, and you're going to feel exactly 2 cards. And once you got that, take those 2 cards and turn it over like a book. Just like riffling the back edge of the cards, this time you're just riffling the side edge of the cards. And once again, when you feel you got like 2 cards, you're going to stop and then turn the card over. And that's how you do a double lift without a break. After you got a break, you're going to lift the card, right? That's why it's called a double lift, to lift up 2 cards as one. Once you have chose your method to get a break, here's the first way you can just lift the cards. And what you can do is just to grab the 2 cards. Very easy, just like this. Once you have the break, put your thumb at the bottom edge of the cards, and your middle and ring finger on the top edge of the cards, and your index at the top of the cards. Just like this, you can just hold it and lift up everything above your pinky. Just like that, you have lifted a double. So another way to just lift 2 cards is through dribbling, alright? So right here, I've lifted 2 cards. So what you can do, just like ruffling the back and the side edge, you're going to dribble, and once you're near the end, you're going to stop and feel 2 cards. And just like this, that 2 cards here, in the beginning, you would want to start dribbling slowly and try to feel the right timing and feel there are 2 cards with your thumb. Once you have enough practice, you can do that very quickly and you get exactly 2 cards through dribbling. You can just dribble the deck and just lift it, and that's a double lift. So the third way to do it looks like this. So you're going to push off the 2 cards as one, and you can just pinch it with your thumb and the rest of the fingers. So I believe this one is created by Venom. So once you have got your break, for this one, you're going to need a bigger gap so that your ring finger can really go inside the card. And what you're going to do is to have your thumb touching that part of your ring finger so that you can pinch those 2 cards together. And you're going to push off those 2 cards like this and moving them as one. This will look like you're only using your thumb, but actually you have the help of the ring finger to push off the double. So once you have pushed off those 2 cards, you can just lift them with your other hand using your thumb, middle, and index finger to pinch it. And just like that, you can hold the double and show the card, do whatever you want. So another similar way of doing that same thing, lifting the card or like pushing the card over, is called the soft double. So what you're doing is first you get a pinky break, and then again insert your ring finger into the deck as well. You want this part of your finger touching the deck instead of this part. So you have the break, and then you want to have your ring finger, this part of your ring finger, going in and touching the edge of the cards. And also your thumb should be pressing hard on the back of the cards. And now, just like the Venom one, but instead of pinching the card, you're just letting the card to stick to your ring finger and pinky, have those 2 cards resting on your ring and pinky, and these 2 fingers are going to move towards the right. And just like that, you have moved the cards sideways, and you can just lift up those 2 cards and show the cards, whatever. Also, to make this easier to do, you can use your thumb, place it on top of the card, so when you pushing out, you can also use your thumb to help you. But when you have enough practice, you can just kind of like slide those 2 cards over like this, and then just pinch those 2 cards together. So the third thing in a double lift is to turn over a card. So the double lift is also called the double turnover. Double lift is just lifting the card, but the double turnover is turning over 2 cards as one, instead of just lifting 2 cards as one. So the first way to do it is first get a break, and then grab the corner of the cards with your thumb and your middle finger, just like this. But this time, you're not just going to lift the cards, because you're going to turn it over, right? So you're going to hold it, and you're going to lift it upwards and kind of spin it around your left thumb over here. So you're not actually spinning the cards like this, but you're just going to slowly do this, and at the same time, your thumb is going to push the cards towards the right and slide it along the back of the rest of the deck. So you're just going to lift it up a little bit, and then your thumb is going to do the rest of the work by just pushing those 2 cards to the right. And now it should be straight up, and then you can just move it towards the left and just drop those 2 cards, and you've flipped over 2 cards as one. So again, this may not look the best, but I think Shinlim does this. So you're just going to flip over. But if you do it smooth enough and also matching what you're doing, a good situation would be when you have a card on the table and you just want to do a double lift and reveal that the card is the one on the top of your deck. You can just get a break, put that card on the top of the deck, and just instantly turn over the double. And that might be a good way to do it. So the second way of doing it is to pinch the end of the cards and just turn it over like so. So this might not look the best when you do this, but it does work in a few occasions. Obviously, at the start, you need to get a break below the top two cards. Have your hand face down, and using your index and middle finger, you're going to place those fingers on top of those two cards and then insert your thumb inside the break. And then you're just going to turn your wrist clockwise like this, so your hand is now facing up. And once you have turned the card over, you can just like drop it. And what you can do is you use your index finger to push those two cards downwards so that they don't separate. So you're going to use your index finger, press down, and release your hand, and that'll be it. And the next way you may do it is probably one of the most you have seen, is to just turn the card like a book, just like this, flipping the cards over as natural as possible. So when you're flipping over a single card, you just flip over the card like this, right? And if you're turning over a double, just like this, that's a double. So in order to do this, again, you need a break. And now what you can do is to use your thumb to slightly push over those two cards, because that might be easier than without break, like the push off double lift. But with the break, you can slightly push the cards over, and with your right hand, place your thumb in the center of the cards, your index, middle, and ring at the edge of the cards, and then you can just slide the cards and just kind of bend the card if you can. So you're going to push down with your thumb and just bend the two double with these three fingers. So you're going to push it down, bend it, and slide it across the deck, and using these three fingers, push it towards the left, and you can just turn over a card easily. Another method of doing this is to pinch the cards. So you can use your thumb, placing it at the back of the cards, at the side edge of the cards, and with the other two fingers, index and middle, you can pinch it, and just like what we did, slide it over and flip it over like a book. Another thing I just want to say is that don't be afraid to make it casual and slide it like this, because it will look more natural if you slide the card. But if you do this, lifting up the whole thing and just kind of flip it like this, that just not good. So the third way to do a double turnover is how David Blaine does his. So once again, get a break, and now your thumb is going to contact the bottom right corner, and then your middle finger is going to contact the top right corner of the cards, just like this one. But instead of doing that, you're going to turn the cards like this. So what exactly you're doing is, once you've got those two corners, remove your thumb and just hold the card with your middle finger and this part of your left hand. So you're going to push the deck towards this part so that the bottom left corner is touching it, so you can actually hold two cards just like this. And once you have got that down without your thumb, you're going to move your thumb below the two cards, roughly in the center, and then twist the card, so kind of like push it upwards. And at the same time, your middle finger should be going downwards and your thumb pushing it upwards, so it makes space for the card to turn. So with middle finger going up, keep going up, and also towards yourself. So your middle finger should be like this. And then as you're doing this, your thumb is going to push the card and twist it like this. And once you're in this position, you're going to kind of straighten up the card. At the same time, you're just going to use your index, place it at the side, and your thumb just to pinch the cards like this. And release from here. So there should be like a snap or something like that. So once again, thumb, middle finger, remove your thumb, right? Lift up those two cards with your middle, and then twist the card like this. and around this part of your thumb as a pivot point, you're going to twist it, and once you release it, you can slide it like this and make a snap sound. And here's a double. So the last way I'm going to teach you to do a double lift in today's video might be the most challenging one and the most risky one, except for the push-off, alright? So how you do this is, once again, thumb at the bottom right corner, middle finger on the top right corner. You're going to lift the card like this. You're going to use your index finger, push down the center of the card, bend it like this, and with your thumb, you're going to slide it towards your middle finger, alright? And also, you're going to need the help of your ring finger to support the card. So your ring finger is gonna lie like here, just covering the value of the card, like somewhere like this. And once you're in this position, you can kind of like pinch the cards with your middle and ring. So your thumb can slide from this corner to your middle finger. You're going to turn over the cards. So you're going to twist your wrist, right? Twisting it like this, but instead of just doing this, because that will look awkward and feel awkward at the same time. So you're going to turn over the cards at the same time, moving your thumb downwards, sliding it down like this. And this will take loads of practice to really do it. So from the deck, you're going to hold those two cards, push down in the center with your index, and then you flip over the card. And as you're doing that, ring finger comes to help, and the thumb slide along the edge of the card and move towards the middle finger, just like this. And now you have flipped over a double. And once you're in this position, you can either just show the cards, turn it back over, place it like this, or just place it on top of the deck. Do whatever you want. The next thing I want to talk about is how to flip over the card again. So you can do the same way. So for example, you did this double turnover, and then you lift these two cards and do it the same way again. Or you might want to turn it over like a book and then do the David Blaine one and just place it on top. Do any way you wish to. But one thing I just want to talk about is that you don't really need a break for you to like turn those two cards back over. Once your card is flipped over, you can notice that there's a natural bend of the cards. The top two cards, like the cards that are face up, should be bending the opposite way of the rest of the deck. So right here you can actually see a gap right here. So you can actually lift up those two cards easily. So when you're showing the card to a spectator, you don't want to like ruffle the cards and get a break and then show a spectator the card, right? Because you don't want your spectators to see you having a break when you're showing them the card. So you can just show them the cards casually, leave the deck on the table, have them look at it, and once you just pick it up, naturally, grab the deck like this, you can feel those two cards because they're facing the opposite direction of the rest of the deck. So you can naturally lift up those two cards and easily get a break. Another way to get the break is once you have flipped over the card, do any way you wish to, and once you have turned over the card, leave it out jog a bit. So just like this, the card is more towards the spectator instead of just squaring up. So what this do is that, so once you have showed your spectator the cards and showing everyone, you're going to get a break by using your index finger, pushing the top left corner downwards. And as you might notice if you have done that, the bottom right corner is going to pop out, just like this. Once you have got that, just push this card towards yourself again, and then the card is going to rise up, push it back, and leave your pinky here, ready for the pinky break, and now you actually got a break. And easily you can turn over those two cards. So if you don't want to use a break, what you can do is actually when you're turning over the card, you can bend the card a bit more. So like if you're doing this double lift, bend the card a bit more so you can actually get a very big gap, and you can like easily take those two cards and turn them over like this. So that will be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this double lift tutorial. I've gone through many different variations of double lift. This is just like the first part if you want to, because I might do a second one if I have learned more variation of double lift. I might do a second one, but for now that's it from me for the double lift tutorial. And for a more individual one, I might do individual tutorials. Like for the Stewart Gordon double lift, I might do a individual tutorial on that. And also the push-off double lift, maybe the snap double, the soft double, any double. And if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel right here. And if you want to, you can go ahead and watch another double lift tutorial right here. Make sure to let me know about anything that I haven't covered about the double lift in this video. Make any suggestion you wish to, and tell me more about the double lift in the comments. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye!